Hey guys, welcome to the video. Hopefully you're having a great week whenever you're watching this video. Today we have some raid news. We have to talk about the changes to the Chronophage artifact set. Plarium stepped in a week after introducing the Shredder event dungeon, and they gave the artifact set, the main reward, the main reason to farm this dungeon, a big buff, or at least a buff. You guys can be the judge. I have my own opinions. I am so thankful for this. I released a video about a week ago on my main channel talking about, is the event dungeon ruined by this artifact set? Not to mention maybe the difficulty. That's another conversation for another day. Let's take a look at the changes and talk about, just how good is this set now that they've made a couple key changes, not only to the set itself, but also as to how the immutable buff actually works. Let's get into it, guys. Okay guys, so like I said, they actually buffed this artifact set in two big ways. Actually, kind of in three ways. Number one is they beefed up some of the stats in terms of when we get them from the actual stat bonuses of the 9-piece set itself, Chronophage, right? Number two is they changed the order of which we get some stats in a big way for the positive, right? And number three is they buffed immutable. The buff, it actually stacks onto your champions, right? When you have a 4-piece or a 6-piece or a 9-piece, and that's scales up from one immutable stack all the way to 3 immutable stacks. They're actually scaling, in when you receive the immutable buffs, the stacks, I should say, are the same as they used to be, right? Between the old and now the rebalanced artifact set. So these stacks, in case you were unaware, they work like a pinpoint in Intercept, right? You only burn them if you use them. So taking a turn, if you didn't use them, they'll stay on your champion, which is really powerful, okay? The problem was the immutable buff itself was not super powerful before, but now things have changed. And props to Plarium, honestly, for stepping in this early. I saw on X, people kind of complaining about, like, it took you long enough, but I think 1 week into the event dungeon is pretty solid. I can only imagine that Plarium, probably looking at the data of people who are running the event dungeon, it was staggeringly low. Like I said, I even made a video talking about, dude, this artifact set is really going to ruin this event dungeon in a lot of ways, right? People aren't going to want to farm it. So anyway, the first thing that jumps out at me here is this becomes Chronophage now the third set in the game in terms of 9-piece sets, which is important, that gives you a big 10% speed boost after the rebalance on a 2-piece. So obviously there's speed and divine speed and righteous and impulse and all the sets that give you speed after 2 pieces. There's a lot of them out there, right? But there's only 3 sets in the game now that give you 10% speed that you can put on your ring and your amulet. This is a real game changer, especially for our speed boosters, for our control champions in the game, right? Getting 10% speed from a ring slot and an amulet slot is absolutely crazy. You're not supposed to get speed traditionally from those artifact or accessory, spots. So now we have Rebirth, 10% speed on 2-piece. We have Pinpoint, of course, 10% speed off 2-piece. And now we have Chronophage, 10% speed off 2-piece. So now third option in that regard. So I love that, right? Of course, we have Feral, 5% speed. So we have another set that's a little bit less on the speed that we can still use in those slots. But 10%, that's a lot. It's a big difference, obviously. You can get 10 plus speed from that, and that's a game changer. Anyway, going on here, you can see they kind of jockey the position of some of the stats as well. But basically, it culminates now in 8 pieces, 12% speed, right? 5-piece, 10% speed. It used to be HP. So overall, we're getting a lot more speed from this set. When you max it all out, we're looking at what? 10, 20, 30, 32% speed. And it used to be a 5, 10, we got 10% speed. So they added a lot of speed to this set, which I absolutely love. I love that. Okay, so 10 to 32, that's crazy. The second thing they did, obviously, as we spoke about, is they reworked the immutable buff. So it used to be that the number of stacks would mitigate the number of cooldowns on your champions. So let me give you an example. Alice attacks you. She puts all your skills on 2 turns cooldown, right? Well, if you had 2 turns, so before a 6-piece immutable, that would negate those 2 turns, and then it would be gone, right? So you lose 1 stack per 1 round of cooldown, or 1 turn, excuse me, of cooldown on your champion, right? So if you had 3 immutable stacks all the way at 9-piece back in the day, right, before they changed it, aka yesterday, right? You would get, you would be immune to 1 Yumeko cooldown, for example. And then the whole piece, the 9-piece bonus would be gone forever. That's it. but they changed it, honestly, to the way that it should have been to begin with, right? Now, one stack will prevent a whole cooldown effect, no matter what it is. So Warlord comes in, and you have 2 stacks on, and he uses his A3 Orcish Rituals against you, boom, it negates it, right? Not the turn meter decrease, but it negates the cooldown, and then you still have whatever stacks you had left, right? You only lose 1 stack. So really, it turned immutable from this niche thing that it's not worth it. I mean, the problem, the way that it used to be is, you're not going to run a 9-piece to negate 1 damn Yumeko, you know? It's not worth it. There's so many other better sets out there. You're giving up Stone Skin, you're giving up, you know, Stone Skin Protection, or Merciless, or Savage, or whatever you're using on your champion, you're giving it all up. Speed, Supersonic, you name it. None of that. Giving up that is never going to be worth 3 immutable stacks. Frankly, I really don't think that 3 immutable stacks is necessary at all. I think the 9-piece of the new set, even after the rebalance, even considering that extra juicy 12% speed at 8-piece, which is enticing, I don't think it's enough. I think the most you would ever want to go is 6-piece for the arena. Frankly, I think that 4-piece is absolutely fine. For 4 pieces, you're still going to go ahead and pick up your 10% speed. And think about it this way. A lot of champions, you could put them in a 4-piece for the arena, right? You could put them in a 4-piece Chronophage. They're going to get the 10% speed, which isn't bad, but maybe you can throw on a ring and get the extra 10% speed. So I think a 5-piece too is a certainly viable, you know, option for this new rebalance set. Overall, guys, I'm thrilled about this. Did they turn this set into an absolute game changer? You're going to be running on all your champions everywhere in a similar way to, I don't know, like a Supersonic Merciless Protection, some of the best sets in the game? No, it's still rather niche. But boy, is it a nice set to have, and it does do a good job of passively countering a lot of the arena meta as well. You know, champions like Warlord and Yumeko, they're not seen as much. You still see a lot of Crixia in the arena as well, but mythical champions, you know, being able to change forms and whatnot and still have all their abilities did somewhat mitigate the effectiveness in the meta of the Warlords, Yumekos, and Crixias, and Alice's, and, you know, I can go on and on, all the reset champions. That being said, now there is actually a counterplay option for those champions, which is really cool. This is a lot better than it used to be, and even the 2-piece is going to be nasty, especially on your support champions, your revivers, so they get some resistance and some speed. So there it is, guys. This is actually used from yesterday, but I was traveling, so I'm here back, and I had to talk about this because I made a big deal about how bad it was before. Now, it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. Not the best in the game, not S tier, but I put this set now at, I don't know, B+, A-, especially because of that 10% speed on the 2-piece. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the video. If you're looking for something else to watch, I uploaded this video yesterday, which is, out of all 627 champions that I've maxed on my Raid Shadow Legends account, who are my MVPs in each rarity, and honorable mentions. So who are my top, like, 3 or 4 rares, epics, and legendaries, and mythicals, and then who is my overall favorite in each category. Not necessarily the most OP, the best, although they're all good, but who are my personal favorites? Which kits do I absolutely love? So go ahead and check that out if you want to. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.